Okay, welcome everybody to the 2024 FAGASA AGM. Technically, it should be the 34th AGM, but there were a few missed over the years, I think, so it's probably not. In attendance, we have enough people for a quorum, so we can declare the meeting officially open. And are there any apologies that we can note down, please?
Definitely the EXCO and board members that can't be here. John Pinto, Armin, Neil White, and Nick Craig, who is online.
And then online, we've got Solomon as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Solomon is joined.
Okay. Okay, confirmation of the agenda as laid out. I think most of you got a copy. The agenda is attendance, apologies, opening of the AGM, confirmation of the minutes from the 2023 AGM. And we've got the chairman's report, MD's report, financial report, approval of auditors, road ahead. And then questions and comments. Anyone want to add anything to the agenda while we're here, or they can add it at a later stage, but easier if you add it now. Nothing at present, but we'll, if anyone wants any questions or comments, then we'll discuss them. Okay. Need to confirm the minutes of the 2023 AGM. I need a proposed and a second for them. First of all, everyone happy with page? There's only 2 pages. Everyone happy with page 1?
They were sent out a year ago, sort of a year, 8 months ago.
So there's no corrections or anything needed. So I just need a proposer to approve the minutes and a seconder. Please. Denise proposer, seconder. Yep. Sorry, he was in first. All right. I'll just read the chairman's report to start. We'll go through it. Welcome again. Greetings to all FAGASA members and stakeholders. To start off, sadly, in February 2024, we lost our fellow FAGASA board member, Director Godfrey Matabula, Assistant GM of Matswari, due to his untimely passing. And it was far too early, and we'll miss him dearly. Can we just have a moment of silence to respect Godfrey and his contribution to FAGASA, please? Okay, thanks. I think Michelle will probably elaborate further on Godfrey's legacy in her report. Okay, the year in discussion is beginning of March 2023 until the end of February 2024, and even beyond up to today. We can discuss a little bit. It's been another whirlwind year with much positive activity and a few headwinds to deal with as well. Once again, Michelle and her dedicated team have got stuck in and have been proactive in tackling some very important issues and dealing with some critical matters regarding guiding qualifications and potential changes in governmental and educational structural requirements going forward, such as those currently on the go of SAQA and the DET, as well as successfully lobbying for CACITA to extend the existing system until any new requirements and regulations are finalised or made official. So it's a bit of a minefield to negotiate your way through, and that's done with great professionalism and enthusiasm. Many hours and great commitment, and hopefully going forward the fruits of these endeavours will be reaped by all. It must be mentioned that this is all carried out on the top of the normal operational requirements of the FAGASA office, which are indeed substantial. With the post-COVID uptake in tourism, and especially nature-based tourism, there's been a big demand for well-qualified nature guides, and FAGASA and the endorsed training providers, assessors, and the various FAGASA courses and offer have all been very well subscribed. FAGASA has also endeavoured to look at continuously improving course material and evolving to provide well-qualified, safe and competent members to service and be ambassadors both to the unique environment we operate in and to the country and surrounding regions. FEGASA also provides an ongoing self-improvement pathway for guides in their ongoing development and career progress. Nature enthusiast and junior programs are well provided for, with some excellent material available both physically and online. FEGASA has a solid structure and is in a sound and sustainable financial position, with strict control of expenses and timeous monthly reporting. This has and will enable FEGASA to further embark on various approved projects, from improved communications through social media, IT upgrading of internal systems and platforms to enable seamless interface with members, study assistance and other social development or interesting initiatives that FEGASA may wish to get involved with, whilst maintaining a healthy reserve for any unforeseen events. Repeated it last year as well. FEGASA is a non-profit organization, but it doesn't mean it doesn't make a profit. But any money it makes gets used within or as a reserve to enable FEGASA to operate and be in a sound financial position. Nobody benefits individually from the money. There are no dividends. It's a non-profit. So every cent that's come in is used for the running of the organization and various projects and as a reserve to enable FEGASA to stay in a healthy position, especially for unforeseen events such as COVID. If we never had that reserve for COVID, FEGASA wouldn't exist. A big and special thank you must be given to all the non-executive regional representatives who selflessly and for no remuneration serve their constituencies and on the Exco, as well as the same to the non-executive board members and directors who diligently carry out their work and responsibilities. A lot of volunteers giving a lot of time and effort in this organization. Michelle, Bernice and the Hoedspruit and Johannesburg satellite team all carry out their duties in a passionate, friendly, enthusiastic and professional manner, and often go beyond the call of duty to assist our FEGASA members and various stakeholders where they can. Guides often query the value FEGASA adds to them, but a quick look at the website and all the behind-the-scenes work that is carried out for their benefit and the available ongoing pathway of self-development which leads to career opportunity, advancement and satisfaction will quickly justify the 2 to 3 beers a month expense that an annual FEGASA subscription costs. People say it's expensive, it's not expensive, it's 2 beers a month. So. Finally, I must announce that I'll be stepping down as FEGASA chair and board after more than 12 years on the board, with the last 5 years of chairperson. FEGASA adopted a policy a while back to ensure continuity and succession on the board that the term of the chair will be a maximum of 3 years in future, with a vice chairperson elected from the board of directors, who will then be the following chairperson when the current chairperson's 3-year term ends. This will ensure that there will continually be fresh blood and ideas to steer FEGASA in its course of guiding and educational standards of the highest order and continual improvement. With FEGASA in a sound, vibrant and financially healthy state, it is a good time to hand over to the new chairman, who will be Jean Pinto. He's currently in France, so he couldn't attend today. Who's very well known in the guiding and lodge management industry. He is the current vice chair and very well versed in FEGASA matters. And I'm sure he'll play an invaluable role in helping navigate FEGASA to the interesting and exciting next few years, with some positive structural changes in the offing. Being part of the FEGASA community, I've met many very interesting and incredible people, and hopefully will continue to interact with them in some manner. FEGASA has been through some interesting times during my tenure, none the least the COVID epidemic and all its drama, as well as the successful office relocation to Hoedspruit and some other initiatives. The Safari Guide of the Year competition has grown in leaps and bounds and is now a very well recognized and professional event. To end off, a huge thank you to all the Fagaza personnel and members I've interacted with over the years. Special mentions to Grant Hahn, Brian Soraya in my earlier days, Vernon Creswell, the previous chairman, and to Michelle and her current team, as well as Juan and our current members. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, next up is Michelle with the real stuff. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Steve. And before I start, just a warm welcome. Solomon, welcome, you're online. Solomon was recently appointed to the board of directors for Fagasa. We are very excited and thrilled to have you on board, so welcome. Sorry you're not here in person, but thank you for joining online. And then secondly, a new member to our executive committee from the Madikwe region is John Dee. He's been appointed to represent Madikwe alongside Jonathan Whiteman. So John Dee, welcome to you too. We really are excited to have you on board, and really there's some great positive change that we can see. And to everybody else on the Exco that has served over the last year, thank you. This past year has been one of immense pride for the Field Guards Association of Southern Africa. And as I reflect on our achievements, I'm full of gratitude for the remarkable individuals who make them possible. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the unwavering dedication of the team, passion for our mission, and their expertise in every aspect of administration are the bedrock of this organization. All of you sitting over there, thank you. We don't often get a time to acknowledge you, probably not often enough, but you are valued. That team sitting there, this machine would not, as it does. Thank you. Our regional representatives serve as the vital link between Fagasa and our members across Southern Africa. Their tireless support for our field guards is truly commendable. I'm deeply grateful to our esteemed board of directors and committee members. Their strategic vision and guidance have been instrumental in shaping the future of Fagasa. We pay our respects to Godfrey, who served on the regional committee for many years, followed by a director's post on the board for about the last 7 years. He worked his way up the ranks at Motswari, and he continuously supported the guiding sector, always putting the Fagasa standards first. He is missed. A special thank you to you, Steve, whose advice and constant availability has been a tremendous support, and you will be missed. A heartfelt thanks goes out to our dedicated facilitators, mentors, and assessors. They play a critical role in upholding the high standards of Fagasa through their commitment to fair and thorough assessments and facilitation. Their efforts to ensure continued excellence in the field and allow us to offer a comprehensive range of training and development opportunities for our members. I'd also like to express my sincere appreciation to our guiding members, stakeholders, and industry partners. The ongoing collaboration is essential to the success of Fagasa and the continued professionalization of the nature guiding industry in Southern Africa. Together, this remarkable team has ensured another successful year for Fagasa. Looking ahead, I'm confident that with this combined force, we will continue to elevate the standards of the nature guiding industry and inspire the next generation of conservation champions. As we embrace change in the qualification space, Fagasa stands firm in pursuit of becoming the professional body for the nature guiding sector within the next 2 years. Please engage with us and be part of this journey. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. Next up is the financial report.
Before that, please.
Sorry, okay.
Sorry, Steve.
Okay, thanks, please.
Okay. I don't have my in front of me. Yeah, so my report was just basically generally from my department, so and just in general in terms of Fagasa, but it has been a challenging and stressful year overall for everyone. I'm sure we all have felt that with everyone being concerned about where the industry is going with the qualification and the renewal, etc. Yeah, we've been keeping everybody up to date as much as we are up to date. And yeah, we've continued training and assessing as per usual. And out of all of this is what has come to the fore. It's just how important the FOGASA standard is to so many in the industry. It really has come, to the front. From delivery partners, our guides, assessors, and even those who don't necessarily want to become guides, but wish to be a part of FOGASA, so they do, remain enthusiastic, or if they want to be a part of it. And that's what we've really picked up on. We have a very strong team of assessors, which we're obviously very grateful for, and thank you to everyone. They're loyal to FOGASA and everything it stands for, and that's what makes FOGASA what it is, as well as the guides. And yeah, the assessors they've worked very hard to be a part of the standard and proud of what they're a part of. And that's part of the process of qualifying as a high standard of guide for the guiding industry. Then, yeah, as an accredited training provider with CACITA, FOGASA follows the strict quality assurance practice in line with CACITA requirements. And as a training provider, we also have our own guidelines and procedure in place in order to maintain the integrity of what we deliver, in line with upholding our standard as well as the industry. Yeah, then as I've mentioned, we've got a strong body of assessors. We have currently 73 assessors, and we've just had a new assessor join us from the Western Cape, so welcome, Dalfredo. Once a year, we have assessor workshop, where assessors are all encouraged to participate and keep up to date with everything that's required. The mentors as well, which is always a very strong point in FOGASA. And we've now got the program, the Trails Guide program, which follows a strong pathway because of our mentors. The protocols which are reviewed every 5 years and which have just been reviewed now, coming out of that, we are going to be having workshops in order for our new line of assessing or mentoring to be put into place. So that is all happening. And yeah, so just to end off, a very big thank you to the delivery partners, committee members, mentors, guides, members, and everyone for their continued support and belief in making the guiding industry better through having a FOGASA qualification. And then we're very excited about the future and the different paths going forward, which I think we will be touching upon. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to the financial report. Just on the financials, every member has got access to the financials, paid up member. So if you're a paid up member and want a copy of the financials, you just ask the office and I'll send you a copy. So there's nothing hidden or secret. I just, sorry, picked up one slide here.
So these are the drafts.
Yeah.
Financials which we received on Friday, so they are fresh from the auditors. So if there are any adjustments, we can send those through.
So I'll just go through the financials quickly, the highlights. Turnover for the year to date, it's still the end of February 2024 because it's almost a year behind. Turnover was 7.3 million, up from 6.5. That's about an 11% increase. And there was an increase in profit of about from 500,000 up to 1 million, which, as we said before, it's a non-profit company. It just goes back into the system. It doesn't get used here. But that's the one thing it says here. It says here the directors, the board has resolved not to declare a dividend for the financial year. It was actually changed it to it's a non-profit. You're not allowed to declare a dividend anyway. but that was just being challenged there. And then, the expenses are pretty much tight and under control, so the company generates about 600,000 rand a month. The expenses are around about 450 a month, and pretty stable, pretty much the same. So the reserve that we've got in hand, cash in hand, is about the target is to have a minimum 10 to 12 months reserve. So if Vergaza stopped operating with no income, it could survive for a year, basically. So at the moment, it's sitting on that exactly. So we've achieved the goal, and any projects we can use, there's a policy that you can dip into and use for X, Y, Z. So it's all pretty much all good. And in fact, there's not much here to discuss unless anyone's got specific questions about the financials. But as I said, you're welcome to get a copy and have a look at and go through them, anyone who wants it. So we need to approve the financials, and I need a proposal and a second for that as well. So propose second, Ellen, thank you. And the next thing we got to do is approve the auditors as well. These are all statutory stuff we've got to go through. Okay, it's the boring stuff, but the important stuff. The auditors we currently use, their name are Watermark. Watermark Auditors is a incorporated auditing firm. Happy to carry on with them. I'd like someone to propose and someone to second that we carry on with them. There's no need to change. They do an excellent job, and I think they understand Vergaza, and they basically don't overcharge out. So could I have a proposal and a second that Denise and Jonathan, thanks. So that's most of the statutory business concluded. Next item on the agenda is the road ahead, and Michelle will give us an overview of where Vergaza is heading.
For that, sorry, we'll just go back to the beginning. So maybe we should just look at the graphs on the finances. Just go down, just to add to your notes there, Steve. If you look at in terms of our income stats on the graphs on the right hand side, that is 22, the previous financial year versus the lighter blue, which is the current financial year. And you can see that very clearly it was in a slightly higher band of income, and that can be attributed to many different things. Looking at our income stats on the right hand side there, 27% of our income is from subs, 32% from books, 15% from registrations, and 13% from exams. So the better everybody else has done, obviously, in terms of our providers and facilitators and assessors out there, and more people wanting the Vergaza standard, that naturally impacts us because we are providing those items. So that's quite an interesting breakdown of where our main income is coming from.
And the increase is not just an annual increase, it's an increase in activity.
Absolutely, increase in activity, and hence the additional profit of around 500,600 that was created over the year, because we tried to keep expenses at a constant. So that you can see it in the second graph down, pretty much the same. The only spike there was the previous. It was to do with an annual bonus. We kind of averaged that out, so that's why the previous year you had a different figure there, but generally the line would follow the same. And same with the profit and loss. You can just see the months that are better, months that are not. So, you know, pretty stable. Right, so we can go right back to the beginning. So before we do the road ahead, I'm just going to touch on this here in the main statistics. So we'll just go up to the structure one up. So just affirming the structure of FOGASA and how it is structured. We have our board of directors that take guidance from our executive committees, which are made up of 3 committees at this place, in fact, even 4. It's the executive, the ethics committee, qualifications working group, and then the regional executives. Remember, every one of the regions that are represented have a say and have a stake in what is decided, as well as your specialist committee, for example, the SKSDG, that would be in your, fall under your qualifications. So those committees bring things to the board of directors then makes final decisions on recommendations from the bottom up. That's our administration team, and then our partners in the field in terms of delivery. Those are our delivery partners, facilitators, assessors, and mentors. And then our stakeholders are the bigger guiding fraternity in the tourism industry as a whole. And again, as I said, welcome to the newbies on the committees and on our board. We are really excited about the future that brings to the organization. Then touching on the footprint, this is pretty much what it looked like last year. We lost a couple of training providers, luckily, but generally very stable in terms of where FOGASA's footprint is. And remember, this is generally the standard that is being adopted across Southern Africa. And there's some very exciting things that are developing there. We are signing MOUs with other guiding associations in other countries, like in East Africa, for example. We are formalizing all of that, and many of our delivery partners are already operating in those areas. So it's really great growth to see that. One little example, for example, is Rwanda. We've now got an MOU in place. Government of Rwanda wants the FOGASA standard, and there's around 230 guides that we need to train. So that is great news. And then looking at the demographic, still a pretty skewed demographic in terms of the demographics of FOGASA, but we, over the years since 1991, we've trained around 33,400 guides, or people that have been through the system. And as we speak today, we have 4,478 active guides. And that is additional roughly of around 550. As of last year, we were sitting below 4,000 active. So those are people that have dropped out of the system or haven't paid subs for a while, whatever the case is. We're now sitting on a very good average, and it's kind of been the average up to pre-COVID, and then COVID out a little bit, it dropped, but we're back up to scratch. And we hope with the future of the organization that it's going to become a lot larger. 31% female, 68.9% male. The enrollment, you can see the biggest chunk of our enrollment is the NQF2 Nature Site Guide, making up nearly 60% of our sign-ups. It's just showing you the different percentages. You can see definitely the smaller, the higher it goes. Although professional field guide, well, no, that's a small one, but Trails Guide. Look at Trails Guide, 20%. So that means a lot of guides are obviously, and that's what industry is asking for, guides that can fulfill both sets of skills. So that's also been a great growth in that area. Course registrations, online versus actual physical delivered courses. And remember, online, it's not just online self-study with FOGASA, it's also online through the providers, because a lot of providers also offer an online part of the theory. But you can see there that we had around 642 signing up for online and 1,726 signing up for actual in the field courses, and that's across the board in terms of different qualifications. Total exams written. We look at online exams versus national and special sittings. Remember, online, we only offer online for NQF2, Marine Guide, Trails Guide, and Nature Enthusiast. So those are the only options there are for online. And so those are those stats there. Still a huge demand for the national sittings and the special sittings, which are done at the training providers. Looking at your pass rates, your online exams versus your national sittings. There's very interesting stats there, and it just shows you that the role of the provider is quite vital there. You can see there's a higher percentage of pass rate because they're getting that one-on-one versus someone who's done it in terms of online, because that's pretty much a self-study scenario. And the Nature Enthusiast, very, so it's not challenging enough, but it's good. And remember, doesn't have the guiding aspect to it. So those are the theory results. And in terms of the practicals, competent versus not yet competent. You can see where we're struggling on the ARH. Those figures there are low, so you're looking at about a quarter not making the ARHs, versus 3/4 passing there. And then the Trails Guide Mentor Program, you look there, there's around 159 that have completed, 22 not yet competent. And the NQF2s and the NQF4s doing pretty well there. So generally, very good results there. In terms of assessors, sorry, Bernice, I had my total wrong there. It's actually 73 and not 80. But we have 73 assessors on board and around 66 mentors. These 66 mentors we're talking about are the mentors that are busy with the Trails Guide programs. And that's just a split of which countries they're located in. The green, which is just slightly less than the Limpopo one, which is the big blue, green is roving. So that's also a great stat because we have many people accessible to the rest of the country. They're roving and accessible. In terms of certifications, accredited certifications, we certified 532 to date. Remember, we still have a whole lot still in the system that have to be rolled out over the next couple of years. But those were the actual CAPCETA certificates issued, not what's sitting in the system. And thank you, Hermia, because that is a massive load in getting all of that information in. And your colleague. Okay, and then over to junior, pretty much the same as what we've been offering. There's been quite a great uptake in terms of schools coming on board for Junior FOGASA. Mariska is going to be driving that. She's new in this chapter of her career and getting involved in that, but that's one of her duties where Ashley left off. And we've got a lot of schools coming on board wanting to do something along the FOGASA line. So we've had to kind of tweak some of the programs, but they really want to offer it to their high school students to give them, as part of their skill set, leaving matric, they've at least got something behind them. So what we have done on some occasions is we've specified and extracted the theory so that if ever they did want to go on and become guides, there would be a refresher and then they could go on the practical journey of it. So we've done that for a couple of schools. A big uptake on the Marine Guide in the Eastern Cape. St. Andrews, for example, they've included, which is fantastic. And then we've got a couple of Joburg schools that have always been using it. But yeah, it's a great portal. So that's, so we did around 55 pangolin and around 24 nature ambassador. Okay, and then just in terms of some other stats, communication sent out, we had our board and executive meetings between 3 and 4 times a year, quality assurance meetings, delivery partner and assessor meetings, regional meetings, and other working group meetings. So lots of meetings, but these are stats we need to keep for for our records. In terms of newsletters, thanks to Louise as well for sending out those newsletters relatively on time. It's usually a delay. It's my fault because I haven't read the damn proof yet before it goes out. So it should be 12, but it's only 9. And we're reaching around 18,000 people every time we go on to when we launch those, send those newsletters out. And then the stat of opening rate has increased. Last year it was around 25% increase in terms of opening the newsletters. This year it's gone up to 31. So that's quite a good increase there. Social media is just mind-blowing what's happening on the social media front. And we do post a lot of stuff there. So we try and do, our communication is varied. It's on the ground, regional, face-to-face. It's newsletters, and it's also using the social platforms. And we can improve that, and we've got some great ideas of how we can improve the communication to just make sure that guides get the right messaging. But social media plays a massive role, and again, thanks to Lou on that. But you just look at the stats, I don't have to go through them, compared with the previous year, the increase in terms of reach, etc. We're reaching sometimes 250,000 people. Our followers are up. Everything is up. And also Instagram, we started recently, so that stat's pretty low at the moment. But that's also doing well. And then the demographic hasn't changed. That's the demographic. Generally around 42 to 45% female. Liking and sharing and all of that, and about 56 to 58% male. What we didn't put in here as well, which was quite interesting, was in terms of countries, and also it's global. And obviously, naturally, South Africa being top, but it is global, which is fantastic to see. Then just throwing in Safari Guide of the Year, again, great stats, great improvement. All right, and then just to continue on our initiatives, some key initiatives that we did over the last year. These are just some of them that we've been involved in. We continue with guide development. We sponsor, you know or may not know, we take applications to community guides that need a little bit of help. So we facilitate that by giving them materials, registering them, giving them workbooks, etc. This is on an application basis and on an approval basis, because we really want to help the champions that want a career in this. This is not a free ride for anybody because they want to do a free course. And generally, this is working in conjunction with our providers, with our assessors, and with our mentors. As a norm, we sponsor every 2 out of every 10 that every provider does. We sponsor them regardless of the materials. Digital logbooks, an update there. We've come to a service provider. Maybe Lawrence, you want to say something on that quickly? Who we've signed with and what the rollout looks like?
So we partnering with Earth Ranger to track walks and logging drives. We're in the data model development phase and looking at rolling out a pilot project by the end of the year and actually getting the rollout of the digital logbooks in the course of 2025.
It's also great. It's been on the cards for a while, but we're making good traction there. And thank you, Lawrence, for your input there. And then Safari Guide of the Year, always a highlight. Last year we had it at Kapama, always a fabulous event. And without our sponsors and people that buy into it to give of their time, this would not be possible. But it really has come a long way. It seriously is an event now. It's followed, respected, and the whole purpose, we think, is being achieved, because the purpose is to showcase professional guides and the professionalism of the industry. And we're heading off now next week to the next venue, which is Mondoro in the Welgevonden. That's where this year's event is going to be, and we're very excited about that. Right, and that is all from me. So that's it. And then the road ahead. Just to touch briefly on the current landscape of the qualifications. As we all know, those qualifications essentially do not exist as of the end of this month. We await communication. We've been assured we would get that communication tomorrow. There has been some extension for some of the programs. So there has been an extension up to a maximum of 2 years. We are just not 100% sure whether our skills programs for guides are included in that. CATSETA and QCTO had a meeting earlier this week, and we hopefully holding thumbs very positive that we would get the news that that would be extended as well, which means we can continue as we are for the next 2 years while we write the new qualifications. And I mean I'm talking about the industry and sector. And FOGASA will help drive that process into the future of us becoming the professional body. That is something the professional body would do anyway. So we would definitely be involved and help with that process. So hopefully by tomorrow we will know the news. If not, I think there could be some instability and backlash from industry, and I don't think industry would accept it, because what an essential nobody could be qualified to become a guide. So you can't have a tourism act wanting a guide qualified with a qualification, preventing them from going into the field. So we're ever so positive about it. All right, and then in terms of delivery partner and assessor engagement, I've put that here because I want it just to be for the record. We will now go into a series of engagements with our partners, with our assessors, as we prepare for FOGASA's journey to become a professional body. We're going to be putting in, so I'll talk about both of those. We're going to be putting in our application to SAQA, which means we become recognized legally as a professional body for the nature guidance sector. Our structure, our legal structure, our mechanisms of what we already deliver as FOGASA in terms of careers is already set up to do that. And we believe that this is really going to set will be of benefit to a wider inclusive audience, instead of always being for select to join various reasons. So we're very excited, because what it does do is it will raise the standard for everybody that would like that standard. It won't be mandatory. So again, it will never be mandatory. FOGASA will never force that standard on anybody. It is on a member voluntary basis. And there's loads of exciting things that we need to speak around that. And we do envisage that our partners are part of that process. They engage with us to figure out how do we teach out the next 2 years, what does that mean? Because there's a road to walk. And we certainly see that our partners being with us into the future on the professional body side. And then the Trails Guide, mentors and resident workshops, that was also just quite a highlight. Bernice mentioned it as well. But just into the future, we've created a new category of mentors to make Trails Guide qualifications more accessible in regions where there was challenges. So we listened to the members, we listened to industry, and so we've made some key changes on the protocols. So just to let everybody know, please, your regions must put forward your RAMs, put forward the resident assistant mentors, communicate that with Bernice. There is a form that needs to be done, and it must come from the region. It must come from either the GM or the reserve manager or the lodge to come to us. This is not a self-appointed resident assistant mentor. You've got to be nominated by your peers in that area to make sure that you're the best person for that job. And that is to help the professional mentors. And we also have more trackers into it as well, which is another fantastic dimension. So please get involved, liaise with Bernice. We are going from region to region. It'll take a little bit of time, but that is happening. The next set of workshops are in the Eastern Cape. There are 2 dates which we will publish next month. So we will be having 2 sessions in the Eastern Cape. We plan to go to Madikwe, we plan to go to the Waterberg area, KZN, etc. So that's also happening. And yes, this is an appeal just to get everybody to start thinking along the lines of we are proud of who we stand for and we are proud of who we support. And actually looking at that, it shouldn't actually be I am FOGASA, it should actually be we are FOGASA. We are facing, without ignoring the elephant in the room, we are facing other organizations that are trying to claim that they're doing the same function. In our view, that is all good and well. We firmly believe that it's not the same thing that is being compared. We have a track record. We're 34 years old. Next year, we're 35 years old. We're going to be celebrating that. And we've got a road to go. And so we're just asking everybody here, everybody in your regions, let's get this vibe going. There will be roadshow. There will be all sorts of exciting marketing opportunities just to get that vibe going again about the fact that we are belonging to this organization that we've chosen to have that standard for a very long time. So yeah, just on that, and we will be working with all the assessors and the delivery partners. We'll be setting up some workshops in the next couple of weeks to work out specific marketing campaigns that we can all be speaking the same voice. So that's really important, and the same message. We've already started with some of that, but we want to have very specific communication that goes out there. And then finally from me, just a thank you to our wonderful team here and everybody that's helped us over the last year and is going to continue to help us for a long time. Thank you.
Questions or comments, anyone? Any online or not?
In the chat box. Any questions from anybody online?
There's one in the chat box there, I think. Can you read that?
Okay. And Tato, so you're asking if you are able to join FOGASA as an assessor. You're welcome to join the organization. I'm assuming you're not an assessor yet. And are you in FOGASA, Tato?
Was I must pay myself to do
So, and Tato, to answer your question, if you are a FOGASA assessor or want to go that journey, absolutely, we can help you get onto that journey and to give you the pathway for that. Once you are a FOGASA assessor, you would not be able to assess for anybody outside of the FOGASA because we firmly believe in the standard. So I hope that answers your question, but we can. Okay, then you were. So let's get you back on track. Let's get you in and let's get you onto the pathway. So please contact Bernice when this meeting is done, and we can look at where you are and what needs to be done. Okay. And Tato, in terms of community development, a lot is being done. from a FAGASA perspective, you need to engage. So if there are opportunities for guides or communities that you know would benefit, please let us know. We are busy with that. As per some of my previous slides, we are busy with around 60 to 70 guides that we are already helping in the system. And recently we were awarded some discretionary grants as well, which we will be putting out in the next week or two through our partners and our delivery partners, where we will be upskilling guides up to NQF4 level. So that is really positive. And yes, there is an application process. And so please contact us and let us know if there are champions and guides that are worthy of wanting to come into the FAGASA standard. We're very, very happy to help them. Okay. Well, let's chat. We can chat on offline and Tato. Please contact us. Let's see where you are, what you're doing, and what your goals are. Any more questions from anybody? Anybody here?
And I muted it because it's not being addressed as. Yes.
If there are no more questions, the next thing is to propose a date for 2025 AGM. Probably similar time of year. Firm that up. 21st of June. It's always good to have it on the shortest day of the year. Gotta keep the meeting completely short. Okay. And well, thanks to everyone, and then we can officially close the meeting.